other roles for the temple and the nation did David organize in 1 Chronicles 26? This is the question we seek to answer today as we continue our verse-by-verse study of the book of 1 Chronicles on Walking Through the Bible.
The glory of his cross.
Today we're going to be discussing 1 Chronicles chapter 26, verses 20 to 32. But before we do that, let's read the passage. If you have a Bible with you, turn to 1 Chronicles chapter 26, verse 20. But if you don't have a Bible, don't worry. Just follow along with us on the screen. The version that we'll be reading from is the New King James Version. So 1 Chronicles chapter 26, beginning at verse 20. Of the Levites, Ahijah was over the treasuries of the house of God and over the treasuries of the dedicated things. The sons of Laadin, the descendants of the Gershonites of Laadin, heads of their fathers' houses. Of Laadin, the Gershonite, Jelei. The sons of Jelei, Zetham, and Joel his brother, were over the treasuries of the house of the Lord. Of the Amramites, the Izrahites, the Hebronites, and the Uzzielites, Shubal, the son of Gershom, the son of Moses, was overseer of the treasuries. And his brother Eleazar were Rehabiah his son, Jeshahiah his son, Joram his son, Zichri his son, Shelomith his son. This Shelomith and his brethren were over all the treasuries of the dedicated things which King David and the heads of the fathers' houses, the captains over thousands and hundreds, and the captains of the army had dedicated. Some of the spoils won in battles they dedicated to maintain the house of the Lord. And all that Samuel the seer, Saul the son of Kish, Abner the son of Ner, and Joab the son of Zeruiah had dedicated, every dedicated thing was under the hand of Shelomith and his brethren. Of the Israelites, Chenaanah and his sons performed duties as officials and judges over Israel outside Jerusalem. Of the Hebronites, Hashabiah and his brethren, 1,700 able men, had oversight of Israel on the west side of the Jordan for all the business of the Lord and in the service of the king. Among the Hebronites, Jerijah was the head of the Hebronites according to his genealogy of the fathers. In the 40th year of the reign of David, they were sought, and there were found among them capable men at Jazer of Gilead. And his brethren were 2,700 able men, heads of his fathers' houses, whom King David made officials over the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh for every matter pertaining to God and the affairs of the king. We have now come to the last section in Chronicles discussing David's organization of the temple. Now, this isn't the end of the names just yet, but we will move on from the temple to discuss more affairs of state. To us, this list of names seems rather insignificant, tedious, and long to cover, but we need to remember, this book was originally written to the returning captives from Babylon. For the Levites, which family you came from, mattered as to what you were responsible for either in the temple or in other areas of matters of state. We've already seen the divisions of the priest, the divisions of the musicians, and the divisions of the gatekeepers of the temple. Next, we move on to the treasuries of the temple. If you recall from our studies of Exodus through Deuteronomy, there were various ways the children of Israel could give to the house of the Lord. There were, of course, the tithes, but there was also the redemption money, the freewill offerings, the vows, and the dedicated gifts to the Lord. All of this needed supervision. And as it is told to us in this passage, that supervision fell to the house of Laadin, who is referred to in other places as Libni, the son of Gershon, and to the descendants of the sons of Moses, of Gershom and Eleazar. The sons of Laadin were over the treasuries of the house of the Lord, while Shubal, the son of or descendant of Gershom, was overseer of the treasuries of the dedicated things, with the families of Eleazar assisting in this task as well. Among the dedicated things were those things obtained from war by Samuel, Saul, Abner, Joab, and David. Now beyond this, there has been much discussion in the commentaries as to why there were two treasuries or what specifically counted in each treasury, but suffice it to say the Israelites knew, and that's what matters. The temple doesn't stand today, nor will God ever bring us back to this physical temple worship. So all we need to understand is that the treasury of the Lord existed, and it was overseen properly by those Levites appointed for that duty. And so this finishes our look at the temple. But that doesn't mean that all the responsibilities the Levites had. For some were appointed officials, scribes, and judges over Israel outside Jerusalem. Those were the Izharites, one of the sons of Kohath. Then, from the families of the Hebronites, another son of Kohath, you had men appointed to oversee all the business of the Lord and the service of the king. These duties would concern any ecclesiastical matters that needed taken care of, perhaps even teaching the law itself, and anything that concerned civil affairs. There were branches of this family situated west of the Jordan, and so they were placed over the tribes west of the Jordan in order to execute these duties. And there was even a branch of this family situated east of the Jordan at Jazer in Gilead, which would have been among the cities of the Merarites. This branch of the family was placed over the tribes east of the Jordan in order to execute these duties. In all, then, there were more to the Levites than simply the priests. All were involved in some way, shape, or form, and David, through God, was responsible for organizing them in the way that they were. In chapter 27, we're going to be moving away from the Levites to discuss other ways that David organized the nation of Israel, beginning with the military divisions, so we invite you back for that. With that, our time is up for today. The Lord willing, we hope you'll join us for tomorrow's discussion of 1 Chronicles chapter 27, verses 1 to 15, as we continue our walk through the Bible, one verse at a time. Thank you for watching today's episode. We hope that you found it edifying and ask that you not only subscribe to our channel and podcast, but that you like and share this episode among your friends, so that the saving gospel of Jesus Christ can go out to the whole world.